Hi, my name is Tony,
My name is Grace.
and welcome to Let's
Let's
Address
address
It.
it. So we started this, or you wanna say this bit?
No, that's all you, man. Yeah, go on. Are you able? Director. Action. Hey, lighting, makeup department.
Okay, so we started this channel as a platform of conversation. Scrap that. Let's continue. Stop.
I just got a text. Let's appreciate it. Instead of it to come upwards, it went sideways.
Okay. No. We've
Hell
been
no.
recording for too.
Hell no.
We've been recording for too freaking long.
We're not keeping up.
No, we are.
No.
I don't care. We
Alright.
are. Okay, so we started this channel to be able to speak on issues and topics that affect like Black people. I grew up in Zambia, partly in the UK, so I'm gonna talk about my experiences and what I've seen. Today's topic is gonna obviously be it's gonna be dealing with depression in the African community. So just a few facts since Tolu's not ready.
Yeah, you can say the facts. It's fine. I'm daydreaming over here.
Just a few facts from the World Health Organization. Over 3 million
300.
people.
300 million people.
Yeah, are dealing with depression, and it affects everyone of all ages. It typically affects women more than it does men. It is I don't know if they say, what does that mean?
What's the
leading cause of disability?
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, and obviously it can lead to suicide at its worst. And I don't remember the other facts.
That depression is treatable.
Yeah. Oh.
It's treatable.
Yeah. Right.
So get help.
Yeah.
Speak to someone about it. The issue we're more concerned about is the fact is our attitude as a people, as a culture of people, our attitude towards people suffering from depression.
Yeah.
It's an illness, and we don't treat it as such. You know, we treat it like it's a taboo, like it doesn't exist,
it's
like
hush,
it's
hush.
it's a myth. It's
Yeah.
hush hush. It's disgraceful. So no one talks about it.
Yeah.
And there's worse things that's going on back home and here. Like, I'm Black British. I grew up pretty much here. I mean, I understand both cultures. I grew up in Nigeria and in the UK. Depression is not something that we deal with or that we speak about openly, and we're trying to enlighten people, especially people of all ages, because it's a fact also that kids or the youth suffer from it most.
Yeah.
Due to immigration, changing environment, or the fact that the parents are kind of closed off about this topic,
or them not having a platform to
or not a person to speak
to
to that they can relate to, because Black people suffer more discrimination in the sense of employment and housing issues and what's the other one? Culture barriers, like language barriers. So there's there's not enough people out there that people can talk to and relate to. And since the older generation treat it like it's a taboo, the younger ones can't open up to either their parents or their uncles or aunties. They find it really difficult.
Yeah, and in the African culture, I don't know about which home you grew up in, but I feel like for most homes, sometimes the parents, because of maybe the difference in the age that they grew up and what they went through, and us, I'm still young. I'm a new parent, but I'm still young. Yeah. Maybe.
I'm patient.
Yeah, you are.
I'm older than I
am. Anyway, so maybe that's also a barrier because they might not relate. They got the similar response. So it's kind of like, I guess it's just time to make everyone aware. And also, I guess in turn get healing, be better informed at the end of the day. I think that's what's important, and that's why we started this platform, so that people can have somewhere where they can speak about their real issues. If you guys want to speak on other conversations that you feel affect us as a people, then please feel free to let us know down below, or DM us. DM. It goes down in the
emails. We'll put up in the description alternative ways to contact us. You can share your stories. We don't mind. We'll respect anyone who wants to remain anonymous. Any content that you feel is relevant to the situations that we face as a community, we will be willing to speak about. And because that's how we start addressing the issue. We have to talk about it first, because depression, one of the first things it attacks is your ability to socialize. You want to isolate yourself, and amongst other things. How do you find that we treat depression in your country, as a Zambian, or amongst your people in the UK?
Like I said, obviously at the beginning, it's a taboo. It's something that people don't like to address, and there's such a big stigma on speaking, opening up about being depressed, and it's a shame, because someone's suffering in silence and they're not able to have a friend or family member to speak to about their issues, and it doesn't get better, only gets worse over time.
It does.
And I think we need to really acknowledge the fact that we have that issue, so that we can be able to I guess get some, I don't know, closure.
Yeah, it's very sad. If it's not addressed, it only gets worse. You can't. It's not healthy to just bottle yourself and bottle it all in. It will all explode, and it will lead down a dark path. Like we've all heard of or seen. We all know someone who's suffering from this. Either you know someone who knows someone, or something like that.
The amount of people that are suffering from depression, I'm pretty sure either you know that you're suffering from it, or someone close by is suffering from it. So it's not.
I mean, statistically speaking, you're around people or someone who's suffering, who's genuinely suffering from depression.
And I think that also it's important to know that depression can cause other issues. So I think that judgmental mentality has to stay behind. I know as a Christian myself, it teaches us not to be judgmental, but I feel like sometimes we can be, if someone's not or doing the right thing, or they're not succeeding in life, we can be very judgmental about where someone's status is in life. And I think that it's important for us to leave that behind. Stop looking at the superficial things of life and start really addressing the issues that matter, i.e. depression. We can speak on issues like, a conversation can be had on, do you feel like you have someone you can go to, or that you can speak to openly about everything or anything, really? Do you find your parents helpful? Or I'm a new parent. I would like to be able to
for your kid to be able to come to you with problems. If they have any problems, they should be able to. You should be first point of contact. You shouldn't be the last person to find out. And for such a community that thrives or feeds on shame and negativity, everything's, did you hear what this person does? This gossip and chicken heads, basically. It's surprising that we're not more willing to help each other deal with a problem before it erupts to something that the whole community knows about and shames you about. If you can't talk to your own kids, you can't talk to your own nephews and nieces about issues that they're having, or they can't come to you comfortably, it would only lead to worse things. Like, he's going through something, doesn't feel he can talk to anyone, he or she don't feel like they can talk to anyone, and then they start substance abuse, or it leads to what was the other thing? Drug abuse, substance abuse, alcoholism. Yeah, a criminal particularly criminal, because then they will all go and say, oh, it's just misunderstood. There's something else going on, and you're not addressing what the issues. You're not talking to this person. The first thing you do to find out anything is to talk to them. When you go to your GP, you know, you don't just automatically find out.
They help.
They ask you. They ask you what is the matter. Where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? You know what I'm saying? Not. You just walk in and then they say, oh yeah, you need surgery on your left kidney. No one's gonna know that unless you tell them what the pain is or what the problem is. So you need to find out and ask what the problem is.
Like what you're saying, I feel like it's also important for you to be able to know the symptoms of depression. I feel like you need to educate yourself.
Enlighten yourself.
I think it's important for you to know, so that as well you know at what level you are in, because it's varied. Just like any illness, there's obviously the extremes of it, and when you're just beginning, or when you just have a cold or a flu or something like that, it's really important to know and, you know, be self-aware as well. On top of that, being a Christian, I also advise prayer, or if you cannot speak to a parent or friend, I think, or a guidance counselor, you can always speak to a pastor that you find, I guess, can keep your information.
I mean, we are speaking about black community. I mean, it is therapeutic. I mean, your pastor is also one of your first point of contacts as a people, speaking as a people, and as a Christian, you should be able to go to your pastor with whatever problems you're having, or counselor.
Like, this is not a platform to.
Hey, I don't know how it's done with Muslims. I don't know how it's done.
No, so, but I'm just saying that they can have. They also you can have somebody to.
Do you know for a fact?
No, I don't know anything. I know I have Muslim friends, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll probably have to ask. I'll find out tonight. You know, I'll actually try and find out.
Yeah.
But the point I was trying to make is that as a people, this is another problem with depression and opening up and communication. We treat each other, or we grew up with a culture that if there's nothing physically wrong with you, if you ain't got a physical ailment, then it's spiritual. We just skip over mental illness or emotional problems. We just skip right to it. It's either physical or straight to spiritual. And sometimes you need to be able to. You need some wisdom in the way you address issues. I've been in churches in the past where it's just so. It's shocking. The people who are leaders in the church, kind of like, I'm not trying to shame any pastors or anything. I'm not naming any names, but dealing with the youth, yeah, and you're intentionally shaming them. Like, if you know what I'm saying, like you put them in the corner. And nobody wants to go to church. No one wants to see. No one wants to see that. Like, no one wants to see that. We need to address these issues. We need to be more open-minded, and we need to enlighten ourselves. So something. Sorry.
I wanted to speak on mental illness. I feel like we need to really talk about mental illness and not just depression. I feel like there's not enough information out. I find that there's not enough information out there, and I feel like we should be able to listen to each other, to help each other. In terms of understanding mental illness. I feel like we have a lot of people that suffer from mental illness, but they're kind of like, I don't know, back in the day. Back in the day, I don't know if this still happens, but like, people with mental disabilities have no place to go, to call home, or no place to go. They used to take them in Zambia. They take them to Chainama. I don't know about every other country.
What's